What happened to the people? What did you do with them? What? Yes, adarshanam lopaha. Some people migrated to the chairs. That is. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Nice questions. Is marriage an obstacle in the spiritual path? Who is contemplating marriage? They will not tell. Huh?
Depends on your answer.
Yeah, after the answer, maybe they will raise the hand. First of all, we have to understand what is sadhya. Sadhya means what is it that one is pursuing. What is it that one is pursuing? Atmajnanam. But what is, as a result of Atmajnanam, what do we get? Moksha. Now, moksha, is it away from oneself? No. It is one's own swarupa. In other words, one is already free. Why this corner, Vasa? Huh?
The wall. I was using the wall.
Ah, you're using the wall. Okay. So, the moksha means freedom. Freedom is already the nature of the person who is what? Seeking freedom. So seeking freedom means dropping the notion I'm bound. That is really what it is. When I drop the notion I'm bound, then that is what is freedom. And all this 3.5-year course, 2,200 root verbs in Dhatu Patha, and 8 chapters of sutras called Ashtadhyayi, and so many Upanishads, so many Prakarana Granthas, and Bhagavad Gita, and what else is there in Prasthanatraya? Brahma Sutra. All this is to understand just the fact that I am not even bound. Okay? The whole compendium of the what is called Prasthanatraya, the 3 things that are 3 kinds of texts that are studied, is all for this. So, if freedom is one's swarupa, it cannot be taken away. Na udeti, na astam eti, na vriddhim yati, na kshayam. Drishdrishya viveka. Na udeti, unlike the sun, it does not rise. What? Today I have more moksha than yesterday. Not possible. This Brahman is the swarupa, and knowing I am Brahman, I am free, and this Brahma swarupa, na udeti, does not rise like the sun. Na astam eti, does not set like the sun. Or maybe it's like the moon. Na vriddhim yati, does not wax. Waxing moon, means waxing means growing big, I think. Yeah. Waning means growing small. Neither waxes, na vriddhim yati, na kshayam. Neither waxes nor wanes. This is the Swarupa. So nothing can come in the way really. It's not like whether we are talking of a job or marriage or anything. It cannot take you away from moksha because you are never away from moksha. That is the thing. But then what happens at the same time is that we understand that there are two lifestyles. This was the whole thing we studied in, where did we study this? Yeah, Gita, which chapter? Third chapter, we studied that. Feels like a long time ago. But that is what we have studied. Two lifestyles, two committed lifestyles are given, anticipating this very question in mind. If I get a job, will I go away from moksha? If I get married, will I go away from moksha? All these things. Anticipating this itself, it is said that there are two lifestyles given by Bhagavan. Where? Ishavasya Upanishad. What is the, how is it expressed? Tena tyaktena bhunjidhaha. One lifestyle. Protect the self. Usually to protect, what do we do? Especially with the cold coming, put panchakosha, 5 sweaters, okay? Yeah. But here, protecting the self how? By giving up. Giving up. Ma gridhaha kasyas vidhanam. Protect the self by giving up means protect, know that the self is not subject to waxing and waning, and so you give up, because otherwise you run the risk of getting distracted in whatever you are hoarding, collecting. This is one lifestyle. What is the other lifestyle? Kurvan eva iha karmani jijivishet shatam samaha. Live for 100 years, but follow karma yoga. While following karma yoga, live for 100 years, and then this is the second lifestyle. So in the second lifestyle, all these things will come. Job, marriage, etc. Everything will come. Now, so therefore, if we are following a karma yogi's lifestyle, then there is no problem, because it includes everything, and marriage is for what sake? Sake of what? Moksha. Marriage is for moksha. That's why both start with M. Yes, you have to remember that. Marriage is for moksha. Moksha is not for marriage, marriage is for moksha. Whatever I do is for moksha. If you choose lifestyle called karma yoga thinking, oh, I have more freedom, I can do as I want, then you will feel like I am better off as a sannyasi. Because in fact there are so many strictures. Marriage is for one's own growth, which is for the sake of what? Moksha. Job is for one's own growth. Friendship is for one's own growth. Whatever I do, children are for one's own growth. It is not for anything else. If this is recognized, then this lifestyle is very successful. But even if we recognize it, in the middle of the everyday life, it becomes very difficult to understand. One tends to forget, one tends to go away, because this life of means and ends has a certain kind of a, what is that? Certain kind of a catching, entrapment is there. So therefore, one remembers this and then if we remember this, not just remember this, but live this in the everyday, then moksha is not opposed to anything. Brahmajnanam is not opposed to anything. Myself as Brahman, it's not opposed to anything at all. What to talk of marriage? This being said, we can go further. If this is recognized, we can go further and say that marriage is not a hindrance to moksha, but actually it can accelerate moksha. This every married person who is here knows. Yes. So, how can it accelerate moksha? It accelerates moksha because immediately one starts to think of ashram. Yes. Yeah. Guru, Shastra, all that starts to come into mind never before marriage, only after marriage. Why? Because in the marriage you have met your match. Yeah, met your match. How? Because you thought you know this person, because you're living with them day in and day out. You're living with them. But then they never cease to give you a surprise. Every once in a while you wonder, who is this person? And then also the marriage, what happens is that it is entered into for the sake of usually changing that person. I can change this person. Yes, this person needs help. Most people think like this. Yeah. Even in an arranged marriage, they think like this. Somebody was celebrating, what was that? 50th. Is that golden? Golden anniversary? 50th is golden? Yeah, golden anniversary. They were celebrating arranged marriage. Very typical South Indian couple, had not even met each other. Only on just one day before the marriage or few days before the marriage they were introduced, and then marriage took place. And then I just was curious. I said, okay, how did you decide to marry each other in that one viewing they had? So she said, he looked so sad and helpless. I thought I could help him. That's why I said yes. And he hadn't heard this story at all. He said, me? Sad? Helpless? What do you mean? I said, that's okay. Now it's your chance. You tell why you married her. Why did you say yes? Oh, she looked like she really needed somebody to hold her by the hand and take her places and all. I thought she was so delicate. She was like a China doll, and that she had to be kept in a showcase and just admired from afar. I was very worried that she would just not be safe in this big bad world. That's why I said yes. I said, so is she like a China doll? Not at all. Not at all. Is he really helpless? Not at all, she said. So what have you learnt after living with each other for so many years, so many decades? And they both said at the same time that we cannot change one another. At least now they have understood. So, but marriage is entered into usually for the sake of some kind of there is one person in the sphere of my influence, and that for some reason is very important to people. Somebody who will sit down. When I say sit down, I love you, therefore sit down. Somebody should sit down. Nobody else will do except the person married to you, that too only in the beginning. After that they also will not listen. So marriage becomes necessary for that alone. It's not for any other thing. It's for this, that somebody is there who I can call mine, who listens to me. This is some kind of a need in humanity. If we can transcend that need, not need to transcend marriage, you can get married, But if you can transcend that need and then look at marriage objectively as a wonderful place, a wonderful institution made solely for my inner maturity, then the marriage becomes very interesting. It becomes very interesting. Because why am I with this person? You have to remind yourself every day. It's not about that person. It's not about changing them. It's not about companionship. It's not about matching, what is that called, wavelength. It's not about similar likes and dislikes. It's not about even the children. What is it about? It is about my own growth and moksha. And so you are studying. Let's say the other people in the family are not studying. Partner is not studying, you are studying. And then what? You go to the Gita class, go home, and everybody is waiting. Not to ask you what you have studied, but just to see how quickly you will get angry. That's what they are waiting for. How quickly you will lose your cool, so that then they can say, what has happened? Nothing has happened. You are studying Bhagavad Gita for 20 years. What has happened? Nothing. Kuch nahi hua hai. You are just same as before. No transformation. So this is the time when you feel like arguing, being defensive, and telling them things like, you haven't come to a single class. What do you know? You try this. Let's see how quickly you lose your anger. This is the temptation to do that. But here, what we have to do is take a different track. This is what is called Ghisa Pita track. This is the same old, same old, same old. No. I dare to take a different track here. So, just say to them, you are right. I still have anger issues. I still have desires. I still have not overcome many, many things. And then what will they do? Oh no, you're not that bad. They themselves will say, no, don't be so hard on yourself. You're not that bad. It's a win-win situation. Without fishing for a compliment, you got the compliment, and then what? And then at the same time, you disarmed them. And if this keeps up, then they will only tell you, please go take a 3-month course. Yes, because I think you're just getting a little stressed out. I think you need to go to the ashram and then just study there. You will feel better, you will feel fine. Then what do you know? The marriage is paying off. It's now become what? Marriage has made you into somebody who is on Moksha Express. It has quickened your pursuit. It has made, because of the security gained, whatever security, some security must be there in this institution. Because of the security gained in that, one is able to go further. The marriage has paid off, really. In our tradition, the best marriage is one that is outgrown. You outgrow the need for the other person. You outgrow the reliance on the other person. That's why if you look at the life of great-grandma, grandma, grandpa, they don't talk about their relationship. The grandma doesn't tell grandpa, I think we need to spend more time together. She does not want to spend time with him, okay? Yes. She is happy however she is. Once in a while they see each other and, oh yeah, fine, okay. You're still around, okay. That's all it is. And that is actually a very successful marriage, because there is not that kind of a pull. One has outgrown that dependency. And marriage can help one do that if it is seen as an aid to moksha. So the marriage is not for the sake of marriage, marriage is for the sake of moksha. So marriage is a means to an end, the end being moksha, it will be successful. If marriage is the end, then what? The end. That is what will happen. It will end. It will end. And so anything that you see in life, any role, any job, any institution that one enters can be converted into a place of self-growth. So therefore, marriage is not opposed to moksha. Then, if marriage is maya, all of the questions are about marriage? Yeah, just, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah. Mercifully, 5 has been cancelled off. Only 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, if marriage is maya, why is every god married? God is also maya. That's what. God is married to maya. Okay. That's what it is. So we don't have, to show maya, we have goddess. She who lends Ishwaratvam to Brahman. So there is a very strong Shakta worship tradition in India, in Kashmir and various other parts. The goddess worship is very, very strong. And all the deities in the tradition are happily married. Even though some of them we say are, brahmacharis, like Ganesha. Even he has 2 consorts, Riddhi and Siddhi. 2 consorts. And abundance, success, like that. So, the understanding is that if everything is Bhagavan, Bhagavan can be invoked in any name, any form and any gender. So to show this nimitta karana, upadana karana, to show this Ishvara is when we talk about Ishvara, Ishvari has to be included. If we are talking about Ishvari, Ishvara has to be included. They are non-separate from one another. They are not 2, it's just 1. From the standpoint of creation, we say she. From the standpoint of that guidance, we say he. That's all it is. There is no difference. As is expressed in the Kalidasa's invocatory verse in the Raghuvamsha. How does it go? Vagarthaviva sampriktau vagartha pratipattaye jagataf pitarau vande parvati parameshwarau. I salute the parents of the universe. Mata cha pita cha pitarau. And so you can make it the other way also. Pita cha matarau. You can say like that. No problem. So pitarau means mother and father. It's a dvandva samasa. And then we say, I salute the mother and the father of the universe. I salute the parents of the universe. Who are these parents? Parvati Parameshwarau. In the form of Parvati and Parameshwara, you can say Narayana and Lakshmi, you can take anything, doesn't matter. Parvati Parameshwara, he chooses his Ishta Devata, Parvati Parameshwarau, Jagataf Pitarau, Vande. I salute the parents of the universe. How are they? They who are inextricable from one another, like the word and its meaning. Can you separate the word from its meaning?
No.
Not at all. So if I say pot, Rabbit comes into your head? No, pot will always come into the head. Even if I say from now on pot doesn't mean pot, you will still think of pot only. All kinds of Ishta pots will come into the head. Gold pot and silver pot, metal pot, copper pot, all kinds of things will come into the head. Word cannot be separated from meaning, and the Shakti cannot be separated from that which is called Ishvara. That's why all the deities are shown to be very happily married. What is the concept of Shiva and Shakti? Yes, we just talked about it. Does Vedanta support this concept? That is what we have been studying in the what? Panchadashi. Yeah, so that in fact this whole concept has come from Vedanta only. All right. Then the Mahavakya equates Atman and Brahman. We focus more on Jiva and Ishvara. Why this shift in focus? Where does it say Mahavakya equates Atma and Brahman? Where does it say? Ayam Atma Brahma. Mandukya Upanishad Mahavakya. Now, there again, that's why the Mandukya Upanishad has so many karikas. Hundreds of karikas are there. Karika means it's a commentary in what? In verse. It's a commentary in verse. So many karikas are there to explain what is this Atma. Atma means I. Atma doesn't mean anything other than I. And when the Shastra says Brahman, 99% of the time it is what? Jagat Karanam Brahma Ishvara. That is going to be explained in the Karikas. That is already explained. And so, and as I said before, when we were talking about Mahavakya, the equation is not between Jiva and Brahman. The equation is not between wave and water. Wave knows it is water. Still, its smallness has not gone. What is the equation between wave and ocean? That is the equation, not between wave and water. So similarly, the Mahavakya, what does it unfold? The I, Aham, Atma, as though trapped in this individual body, mind, sense complex. And then what does it do? It is all extremely finite. It's associated with, as it were, identified with everything that is finite, and then therefore grieves. Anishaya shochati muhyamanaha. Jushtai yada pashyati ekamisham asya mahimanam iti Vitashokaha. So first it grieves because this is from the Mundaka-Upanishad, 3.2 something, and 3.1, yes, 3.1. So in the Mundaka-Upanishad, there is a whole section about the Jiva and Ishvara, this separation. Only when the separation is understood, then I can understand how to get rid of this separation through the study of the Shastra. How to understand this Mahavakya. So the separation is first described as two birds in a tree. Dvau suparnau sayujau sakhayau. Even though that is all Chandasam. Dva Suparna is Chandasam. We have to take it as Dvau Suparnau Sayujau Sakhayau. Two birds with shining wings are the greatest of friends. And they are sitting on the same tree, embracing on the same tree. Samanam vrikshe parishasva jate. And then what else are they doing? Tayoho ekaha. Out of the two, one of them, what is it doing? Pippalam, swadu pippalam atti. Is in search of sweet berries, is wanting to eat and flapping its wings, going to the top branch, going to the bottom branch, flying around the tree in search of what kind of berries? Sweet berries, tasty berries. The other one is also flapping around? No. The other one simply without eating watches. Simply watches. It's a very cryptic story here, we can't understand anything. But when we look at it deeply, we see that we are identifying very easily with the first bird. Yes, like the first bird. Who is this first bird? Jiva. The Jiva flaps around, restless, and then the berries are what? Karma phala, sweet experiences in life. I am in search of sweet experiences. What do I get? Only bitter experiences most of the time. Then little bit sweet, and then after that it's gone, like this fleeting thing. And the other bird is who? Ishvara. How many birds are there? Change your mind quickly, yeah. Not just one, non-dually one. But what do I see? Two. This is the division in the vision. In the cataracted vision of Atma Ajnanam, one is seen, two is seen in the place of one. Or for the one who is drunk on samsara, for the samsaraholic addict, always sees the world in terms of multiples, too many, like this. There is only one bird, but there is an internal separation between myself and the maker, Ishvara, the creator, and this separation is due to not knowing oneself as Ishvara. The second verse is going to say, Anishaya shochati samane vrikshe. Now the Darshtanta is talked about. Samane vrikshe purusho nimagnaha. Likewise, in this tree of life, so to speak, samsara tree, the purushaha nimagnaha, drowning in sorrow, is this person. Shochati, keeps on grieving. Why? Anishaya shochati. So, Anishaya means what? Anisha, not Ishvara. Anishaya, because of being, because of not understanding himself or herself as Ishvara, grieves. And when that same grieving Jiva looks and sees that I am one and the glory of Ishvara is but my own glory, Vita Shoko Bhavati, becomes free of sorrow. So the equation is always between who and who? Jiva and Ishvara. And even if the Mahavakya says, I am Atma Brahma, this I am has to be understood, Atma has to be understood as Jiva, and Brahman has to be understood as what? Ishvara. That is the idea. So this is not, so it is always, we are not focusing more, we are not shifting the focus. It is the Shastra's focus alone. We are just mouthpieces of the Shastra. We are just amplifiers of the Shastra. That's what we are. We are told that Vedas are inspired, revealed and inerrant, meaning infallible. What is the backing behind the claim? How may this claim be different from other religions which claim the same for their own texts. It need not be different. We are not talking of, first of all, I think there are two questions here. Vedas are revealed. Not just Vedas are revealed. Every script, that which we call scripture, is revealed. In any tradition you see. It has to come from a source that is not subject to tampering. Otherwise it cannot be scripture. That's why we don't try to correct the Veda. In the evening prayer, Atmaya Namaha, Atmalingaya Namaha. It will come like this. Is there a word Atmaya? Yeah. If you say yes, see me after the satsang. Okay. So, what is the fourth case of Atma? Atman? Atmane. So, we can say, I have been studying Sanskrit in the 3-month course. Atmaya Namaha, cross. Atmane Namaha. No, we don't touch it. There must be a reason. We don't even call it a mistake. What do we say? Chandasam. And we have to understand that the Vedanta is not some kind of a truth claim or even an exclusive truth claim. My way or the highway. We are not interested in that. We are not interested in that. We have nothing to prove. We should study, everybody should study the last chapter of the Mandukya Karika called Alata Shanti. Alata Shanti Prakaranam, where all the contentions are taken up. All the darshanas, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Vainashika, and Ekadeshi, Bauddha, and then who else is there? Sankhya, Nirishwara Sankhya, Saishwara Sankhya, and all of them are taken up. And Gaudapadacharya, the grand guru of Adi Shankara, indicates, says in so many words, we don't need to spar with them. We have nothing to prove. Forget other religions. Even in this religion itself, all the differences, we have nothing to go against them. There is no pressure to go against them. And even if we talk about, what is that called? Vishishtadvaita, Dvaita. It's okay. From their point, whatever they are saying, whatever it is. So what to do when you are confronted with all these things which are many of them are what? All of them are in fact Purva Pakshas. So the Purva Paksha Siddhanta, this exchange is for our own Sthanu Nikandanam, our own assimilation and abidance in the teaching. The teaching is geared for my personal freedom. It is not to bring about a whole change in somebody. There is no pressure to proselytize a whole bunch of people. I want to have so many Vedantins. No. Because who will come to Vedanta? Those who have preparation. How can I force somebody to have preparation, and why would I want to do? What a waste of time. In that time I can just be reveling in myself. Why am I interested in that? If somebody comes and says, please teach, then only the teaching is given. So the one who is not a Shishya, nadeyam, don't give this to somebody who does not come with discipleship. So first of all, Vedanta is not a truth claim that it is only this way, no other way is permissible. We don't have the pressure to say that. If you say, what is the problem? The problem is I am not free. And we say that the Shastra says you are already free and you have to know it. No, I don't believe this is the way. Okay, no problem. Do something else. No problem at all. Nothing lost. Absolutely nothing is lost. And so, first, Vedanta does not have a truth claim or some kind, even though it looks like that, because we don't see it objectively, it looks like that, but then there is no truth claim, and then there is no exclusive. This is a set of things for those who subscribe to these beliefs. There is no belief. It is based on understanding as much as possible, and what is beyond understanding is a revelation. That is what it is. And so it's not a truth claim. And then what is the backing behind the claim? So the backing behind what? The Veda is apaurusheya. Well, that is what is said by the ancestors and their ancestors and their ancestors in the form of all the teachers, that it is revealed by the Shastra. There is nothing, you see, there is no backing for this claim, correct? But there is nothing to dispute this claim either. You see the difference? Yeah. Because it is how it is. You can't dispute it, you can't prove it. You can't disprove it, you can't prove it. It is like that. And then, how can this claim be different from other religions? Yeah, they can let the other religions claim that for their texts. We don't have a problem with that. We don't have any problem with that. Everybody has to have some holy book, and which is their pramana for whatever set of tenets that they are going to teach and they are going to follow. Why should I have a problem with that? We don't have a problem with that. And neither do we have the pressure that this is better than that. There is no better or worse. And thankfully, because Vedanta is not a religion. Other religions we cannot compare because Vedanta is not a religion. Even the first portion of Veda is not a religion, organized religion, so to speak. It's not an organized religion. So what is Vedanta? Is it a set of beliefs? No. It is the understanding of oneself as free from sorrow. That is Vedanta. For those who are prepared, for those who are interested, and for those who resonate with understanding that what separates me from the truth of myself is ignorance. It is for them. Okay? So we don't have worry about truth claims. I heard Vedanta and Raja Yoga, Patanjali Yoga Sutras go along with each other. Then why Vedantins make fun of Raja Yogis? I don't make fun. Who makes fun? We don't even understand this question. So, what are the similarities between Vedanta and Raja Yoga? How to use them on the path of spirituality? Yoga of any kind is useful as a sadhana for preparing the body, the mind and the senses for the study of Vedanta. That is how we see it. This may not be how the yogis see it, and that's okay. They can see it, they can say that they may be saying the opposite, and it's okay. But this is how we see it. All kinds of sadhanas we divide into two. What are they? Antaranga sadhana and Bahiranga sadhana. So the yoga is both Antaranga and Bahiranga because the yoga includes certain aspects which are Antaranga like pranayama etc. And then it also has Bahiranga sadhana. These two sadhanas for what? For the sake of Antahkarana Shuddhi, and then what else? Chitta Naishchalyam, Nischalata. The staying power should be there, and then what else should be there? The freedom from ragadveshas should be there. Objectivity should be there. I should not shy away from the truth, no matter where and how it presents itself. I should not allow the truth to be eclipsed by my own feelings about the truth. That doesn't work at all. And so, all this comes because of yoga and so many other practices. Then, are the karmas that get generated during dreams exhausted in other dreams, or their phalas can be manifest in the waking state? No karma gets generated in dream. You can dream as much as you want. Give yourself the permission. In dream, who are you? Bhokta, plain and simple. No karma gets generated. Oh, you mean I can just biff a few people in the dream? Go for it. Yeah. Go for it. Give yourself an auto-suggestion. These people have been really troubling me, and I find that I am a Vedantin, and I am, what should I say, I have taken a vow of ahimsa. I can't hurt them, but I really need to settle a few accounts just with these people. Give yourself an auto-suggestion, and then take them by the collar and shake them back and forth. Will it generate karma? Not at all. You are free. You can behave like a beast in the dream. No karma touches. Why? Because for karma to accrue karma phala, there should have been a free will. Yes. Just movement is not karma. Chalanatmakam karma, na. It's not just because I'm moving, I'm creating karma. No. There must be an intent. And that intent must have already been the guiding force of the action. In dream, there is no conscious intent. The dream is the outpouring of the unconscious mind, plus memory, desire, which is the storehouse of memory, desire, etc. And that's where all the dreams come from. So dream on, no problem. Have many dreams, don't worry about the karma in the dream. In the waking state itself, there is many karmas to worry about. So, without having one more complex, what will happen to the karma in the dream? Don't worry about it. Because the dream just exhausts the karma, does not create new karma. Only in the waking state, when the mind is sound, if one is in a permanently vegetative state, not accruing karma. If one is developmentally challenged, somehow some disability is there, brain damage is there, and then in the state of brain damage they go do something, rob, steal, commit a homicide, they are not culpable. Even the law will not convict them. The law will first send them for mental assessment test, and if it comes back saying that this person is not capable of understanding the results of their action, they are not capable of standing trial, they have to let them go. So karma means there should be will and intent behind it, then only we have to worry about that. So you don't have to worry about karma phala in the dream. Why is it said that Anandamaya Kosha is correlated to the causal body? Why is it not part of the subtle body like Vijnanamaya Kosha? In the waking and the dream state, there is identification with the enjoyer experiences as well as with the doer, both replacing each other all the time. Anandamaya is a disposition of the mind with different degrees, Priya, Moda, Pramoda. So should it not be correlated to the subtle body? you see, these koshas are to highlight a particular thing. And when we discussed this, we said it's not that when we are discussing Vijnanamaya, only Vijnanamaya is there. The subtle body is there, Kartritva Buddhi is there, and then Pranamaya is also there, because you see, each one pervades the other. The Anandamaya, being the subtlest of all, pervades all the koshas. So the Anandamaya is everywhere, the most pervasive. It is there, it pervades the subtle body, it pervades the gross body, it pervades Kartritva Buddhi, and then its highlight is Bhokta. That is its highlight. So each one we are doing like a little cross section and seeing that particular, taking out that particular kosha purposely. The Upanishad takes out the particular kosha out of the context and examines it under a microscope. What is this kosha? What does it comprise? And then how does it become a trap? How do I get out of this? All this for one particular kosha is discussed at the individual and the total level, and then how it becomes a trap is discussed. But then that doesn't mean that the koshas, there is no connection between the koshas. Why does the karta do karma? For the sake of bhoga. Vijnanamaya is in service of Anandamaya. And then after bhokta what comes? Karta, because the desire comes again. And where is the desire? Subtle body. You see, all of them are connected. All of them are presented interconnectedly. But then if you look at all of them interconnectedly, you don't see how each kosha is a locus of error about the I. In order to show it as the locus of error, each one is highlighted. It's like you go and see some gems which are kept like this. So those are also rubies. These are also rubies. Why they are kept this side and why this is kept that side? Just to highlight them. That's how it is. And so that is the reason. We finished. Very nice. So yeah, all of them are done. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Mevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari